Before we begin this topic, I just want to say that this video is going to contain potential spoilers and actual spoilers for upcoming Dragon Ball Super episodes. So if you don't want to be spoiled, definitely check out one of the other videos that I have here on the channel. Tons of content for you guys, but I want to have a discussion. Hopefully you've clicked off by now if you don't want to be spoiled. I want to have a discussion about the upcoming Tournament of Power and the spoiler that we got recently about Dragon Ball Super episode 93, where Goku is going to go to Hell to recruit Frieza. Now, we, as of this recording, aren't 100% sure if Frieza's actually going to be in the tournament. Really what we're going to talk about here is we're going to discuss why would Frieza team up with Goku? Because the big question we've seen a lot is, well, why would Frieza just not tell him no or to screw off or whatever? Like, why would it happen? And there's actually a lot of good reasons as to why it would happen. And we're going to generally talk about, like, what Toei could do. We're going to get our answer in about a month. But I figure why not start the discussion now and then get to it. So joining me here on this video, a guy, I can't think of anybody else to talk about this other than this man. I'm not going to talk about it alone because it's more fun to do a discussion. Please welcome Real to Real Productions. Well, Mark from Real to Real Productions.
What's up, Geekdom? How's everyone doing? Always awesome to be on the channel. Thank you for having me, man.
No, no, Geekdom 101 is the brand. My name is Big D. Remember that. Like, just like I'm not gonna call you Real to Real Productions.
Oh, please don't.
Right? No, but let's talk about Frieza. Okay, so again, so I already gave the spoiler warning. Goku's going to go recruit Frieza. The idea here, of course, is the fact that we're going to get the possible team-up of Frieza with all these guys that he has history with. Gohan, Vegeta, Krillin, Piccolo even has a little bit of history with him. All these guys. And, you know, people were kind of, you know, I've seen it all over Twitter, all over, you know, Facebook, everywhere. You know, why would Frieza even do this? Why would Frieza even team up with Goku? And the way I see it, Mark, is that he has no choice. Like, this is the thing. When Goku approaches Frieza, or Beerus, I'm guessing it'll be Goku and Beerus, he's going to give him three choices. Number one, you either come join the tournament, or I'm going to Hakai you, and you'll be out of existence. Number two, Frieza does join them and they lose anyways and they get wiped out. Or number three, Frieza does join them and they win. And so as a result of that, Frieza has to join them. No matter how much he hates Goku and Vegeta, he has to, because otherwise he'll get wiped away from existence. Now, one thing that Rhymestyle brought up, Mark, was that, well, why wouldn't Frieza want to get wiped out of existence to get out of, you know, hell? I think that that is going to be the key to getting Frieza to help them, because Beerus could make a deal with King Yama or with Baba and say, look, if this guy comes out of hell for 24 hours and helps us win this thing, can you take him out of the cocoon? Because remember, he's in the cocoon, he's being tortured by the teddy bears and the fairies, he hates it. But what if you what if you take him from, you know, the hole, like the worst part of prison, to like a more penthouse-esque prison? I'm not saying the dude has to get out of hell. I'm saying he can be moved to a different part of hell where he can at least be he can at least tolerate it better.
I definitely like that idea. Personally, like, the one thing I'd really like to see from that, just kind of an offshoot, is if they do that, they win, and Frieza actually gets to go to that penthouse style of hell. I would really like to see, like, an homage to the hell that we saw in Dragon Ball Z, just in general, like around, you know, the blood fountain and everything else. Like, just kind of see it, not having to explore it or have any relation to what we saw in the previous part of Dragon Ball Z. But when it comes to Frieza basically wanting to get out of hell, I really don't understand why Frieza would want to die. I mean, obviously, I agree with you.
To be wiped away.
Yeah, like, he's too arrogant. Frieza is always sitting there, and, you know, even when Vegeta's, like, beating his ass and basically going, like, look, like, you know, never come back again, Frieza's not the type of person who's going to sit on that. And even though he's in pain, watching all these fairies and teddy bears go around, play music, have a whole lot of fun, he is still probably plotting and wanting to get out of that somehow, some way, some shape or form. And Goku coming there is going to be the coolest thing that we've ever seen happen for Dragon Ball, just because, first of all, Goku hasn't been in hell, at least for, like, you know, the filler parts of Dragon Ball, for a really long time, or ever, depending on how you watch it. And then
yeah, it just depends. Yeah,
and so we haven't necessarily seen that. But also the big thing here, and I know a lot of people hate the fact that Frieza's coming back when they could bring in like people like I've seen Future Trunks and Cell and all these other people. Let's be clear. This is a good, as much as you want to sit there and say, and it's true, you could sit there and say this is all marketing and Frieza's really popular, so they want to bring him back in some way.
That's the real reason, because Frieza's a popular villain. Look how much money Resurrection F made. What, 41 billion, something like that?
Yes. Yeah. and that's absolutely true. But I mean, let's just break it down brass tacks. The reason they're doing this, and story-wise, if you want to write it off some way, is because Frieza got a massive power upgrade in the Fukkatsu no F arc, and this helps take that type of story that had nothing to do, nothing. I remember back in the day when we were talking about it, like we were all talking about it, it's like they can redo the Battle of Gods arc and they could skip the Fukkatsu no F arc. They did it in the manga.
That's right. Well, technically, yeah, they did.
They technically did it in the manga. You could skip it and they would have no reason to do it. Now it actually has a reason. It has a purpose. Because if Frieza didn't get that power upgrade, there would be absolutely no reason to like recruit him.
And that's why Cell, people want Cell to come back, right? Cell never got that power up. Now, could there be a hypothetical golden Cell? Yeah, of course there could, because he's got not just Frieza's cells in him, but also the Saiyan cells. So yeah, Cell with training could get stronger, but Frieza's is more marketable. Not to mention, another thing is that Majin Buu, we talked about this before we started recording, one of the reasons why I took out Majin Buu, now I'm not a huge fan of this, but this is the reason I'm thinking they took him out, is because even though he's not as strong as Golden Frieza, or we don't believe he's as strong as Golden Frieza, we don't know for sure, it's also one of those things where he has so many hacks that it would make the tournament pointless. He could turn everybody there into candy, or he could absorb people. So it's one of those things where having Buu with all those abilities, not necessarily power, abilities, would kind of take away a little bit of the drama. So I think that they wrote this in that way to kind of, not just have that recurring gag of Buu always sleeping, which is kind of annoying, but recurring gag. But also, again, not just all that we're talking about, the fact that the idea of Frieza having to forcefully, they don't want to do it. They don't want to do this, but he's going to have to team up with his mortal enemy Goku. It's been done so many times before, and people, the thing is, the Dragon Ball fandom sometimes forgets the shit that they say. How many times have we seen, what if Raditz turned good? What if Broly turned good? What if Nappa turned good? Like, again, I'm not saying that these characters should turn good or that Frieza's going to turn good, because the thing about Frieza, and let's lay this out right now, Frieza is irredeemable. Frieza will never be a good dude. He's a dick. He will always be a bad guy. But the idea of him being on the same team as Goku because he's being forced to, it's literally like they are taking the Marvel Secret War storylines, almost identical, and they're putting it in. You had Spider-Man teaming up with Doctor Doom. You had, in fact, let's talk about Spider-Man. Venom hates Spider-Man more than anybody, and when Carnage came around, Venom had to team up with Spider-Man. We've seen this in fiction, and here's the reality. The fans end up eating it up. Even though, again, I'm not saying that Frieza and Goku are going to be exchanging Christmas gifts after this freaking arc. They're not. They're not. But it's one of those things where just seeing him, just the idea of Goku saving Frieza from elimination and having him say, "Get the hell off me, monkey," or something, that's going to pop people. The idea of Frieza going face-to-face with Frost. The idea of Frieza going face-to-face with Kale and Kaba and Caulifla. Like, all of this, dude, is like pop moments. Because Frieza has so much history with Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, the Saiyans. He is the perfect guy to do this with. Cell doesn't have that kind of history.
And I should mention that I think you're doing this video later. I don't know if it's on your channel by the time this one's going up, but when it comes to Frost, like, yeah, Frieza might be irredeemable, but Frost isn't, and that could play into this as well, but that's a whole different video. And I think when you think about Frieza and Goku kind of getting together, it's not just that simple. This is something that we've seen in Dragon Ball a lot, something that Toriyama's even talked about at length.
Yeah, this is not like Piccolo and Vegeta turning good. This is like forcibly. This is like Frieza has no choice.
Yeah, exactly. And the closest thing I could think of in terms of, I guess like a mutually assured destruction or victory would be that tease that we got back in like the Namekian saga right before they started fighting Frieza, where it was like a healed Vegeta with the Zenkai boost when Goku got there to fight Jason Ginyu. And
When
you're
he
like, oh
bailed?
man, yeah, and he bailed. It was like, oh man, that's just like a tease, man. I just wanted to see that so bad because they didn't want to fight together, but at the same time, like they had to, and obviously Vegeta bailed on him. The one thing when you look at Frieza, it's not just solely about Frieza and Goku. I mean, there's so many other potential things that we can see from this team up.
Vegeta is gonna object to
Yeah.
this tremendously.
Yeah. I mean, just in general, like, look, one of the things that they've been really hanging on this entire arc, other than I think, if I think at this point it's like Gohan and 17 know, and then obviously Beerus and Whis know that like there's some legitimate stakes to this tournament. Having to kind of say whether it's Goku who thinks of it or whether it's Beerus himself because he's kind of really antsy about it. If he goes and says like, okay, we're bringing in Frieza, everyone's going to realize just how big of a deal this is because this is not something you would expect anyone to ever do. Like, you wouldn't expect them to bring back someone who's been dead, who's like literally killed your teammates before. And
I mean, he is the scourge of the series. He's the biggest villain in the history of the series, and he's been brought back a million times. We all know this. It's just, it's like the Joker and Batman, dude. Like, the Joker and Batman are mortal enemies, but once in a while, you know, they have to team up for the greater evil, you know, which I think it's only happened a few times in the comics, but I'm not an expert on that, so don't quote me. Now, what about the fact that people are saying Frieza's going to betray Goku and, like, join Frost? I don't see that happening because if he betrays Goku, Beerus will just freaking wipe him out.
Mm-hmm. Or hell, even Zeno. I mean, Zeno wants a fair fight. Like he set up. If he's the one setting up the rules, he sets up the rules for a particular reason. If they start turning on their own teammates, I'm sure Zeno would probably wipe him out.
I agree completely. It's just, well, maybe he might think it's freaking funny. I mean, remember Zeno's like a child. He might actually think it's kind of funny.
That's true.
You never know. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But the point is that the idea of Frieza coming back, whether or not you like it, there are still ways that Super can write out of this to make it, you know, to have it make sense. You know, marketing wise, it makes sense. It makes sense as far as like motivation of Frieza. Because look, again, Frieza, if they tell him, look, listen, all you gotta do is help us fight these other guys, and you're gonna get out of this cocoon for the rest of eternity. You can't come back to life, but you at least won't be tortured. I think he'll be all for it because one of the things they did with Resurrection F is they established how much he hates being in hell, dude. And again, there might be a couple of contradictions here and there. Like maybe some people out there might want like Goten and Trunks or, you know, Pikkon. I know some people want a future Trunks, but then that would require more time travel, and that's gonna piss off the gods, including Beerus. So it's just, I think Frieza is the easiest choice.
Frieza's never met Majin Buu. And I wonder why that is, especially when having Majin Buu fight Frieza in the Fakatsu no F arc would have made a whole lot of sense, considering he knew Majin Buu and he knew how much of a threat Majin Buu was. The possibilities don't just stretch between Goku or Vegeta, it's everyone. I mean, how is Krillin going to deal with his PTSD? Is it going to come back in some way, shape, or form? How is, you know, Tenshinhan never really met Frieza, but at least he was there when they were fighting in the previous arc. So how are they going to deal with that? Or Roshi, even Gohan generally, you know, he just got done torturing Gohan and killing Piccolo again, or almost, you know, basically killed him the first time.
Bro, just the idea of Goku going to hell, of Frieza being in that cocoon, and he turns around and he sees Goku's face there. Like, just, yeah, he's gonna try and kill him, dude. It's gonna be the funniest thing, and they're gonna talk to him while he's in the cocoon. Like, dude, it's gonna be, I'm looking forward to it, dude. Yeah. Now, I wanted to ask you one more thing before we close out. Gun to the head. Are they going to bring up the fact that Beerus told Frieza or suggested to blow up Planet Vegeta? Is that gonna this is the last chance to really bring that up, honestly?
I feel like it is the very last chance to bring that up, and honestly, Dragon Ball Super always, especially Super in general, has never been that particular series to bring things up just so they can explain it later. But this would be the perfect opportunity to. I think MJ said in your live stream, it would be like, it's not exactly, but it would be kind of a My Bulma moment. And Vegeta's going to need some kind of pick-me-up or some reason to actually rage out in this tournament other than just trying to protect his family or something like that. So maybe Frieza would be a really good motivating factor for that. Also, just story-wise, it would make a ton of sense. So I would really like to see it. I'm not necessarily sure it's going to happen.
Check out Reel to Reel Productions. Mark does a lot of work there. A lot of unique discussions like this one. If you like these kinds of discussions, that's the place to go. I love when they fuck with the audience. I'm just being honest. I like it. Toriyama is not the only perverse writer or the only perverse person Dragon Ball related, bro. I love when they do this kind of stuff. So I look forward to it. Check out Mark. We'll talk to you down the road.